Today in the crypto space, we see the market looking a bit sideways. Bitcoin coming down approximately 1.5% below the $95,000 mark. Ethereum right around 3,500, up approximately 4%, helping some of the altcoins reach higher levels. However, guys, some of the altcoins are taking a bit of a dip. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but I do want to focus on Bitcoin, guys, because Bitcoin at the current moment is showing a bit of weakness. And if there is fear to enter the market, we're going to see a bigger correction. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins. Looking for opportunity, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with this market. Generally speaking, I don't like the way Bitcoin is behaving right now. Now, it doesn't mean that it can't move up again, but what I do see here right now is in the short term, my bias is bearish, guys. My bias doesn't look the greatest in the sense that as we see the market cap, it's still looking good. It's still going sideways. As we got that dip or this last little dip into here, we see a bit more trading volume than expected, which means the market participation definitely got involved in this dip. Not a good look, of course, because when we see consensus in the market and the market agrees with a certain behavior, there's more volume. And as we can see, as the market cap is falling, we are getting volume. So not a good look, ultimately. And of course, we definitely have to keep in mind that Bitcoin has reached a very, very good level to expect a bit of froth, even a retracement. And of course, we'll talk about the Bitcoin price and the Bitcoin chart in a second. But let's keep on going through the top 100 just to get a sense of what is really happening here. Although Ethereum is also showing a bit of strength here, I also can sense a bit of froth at this level for Ethereum. At 3,500, it tries to break out. There is divergence amongst the tops, which kind of leads me to believe that we could be coming down for a bit of a break. Now, just because I'm speaking a bit bearish here today doesn't mean that I'm a bear. It just means that ultimately I want to take full advantage of any corrections right before we get another move to the upside. Because to be honest, the reality is that the majority of the altcoin season hasn't even really started here. And I want to make sure that I could maximize by packing my bags as big as possible before we get the next move. And the only way to do that is to prepare for bearish momentum. And of course, getting into the bearish momentum would have to require us to build a bearish thesis. And at the current moment, I can see that the bearish thesis does have a bit of opportunity. So we're going to definitely keep an eye on that. As we can see, Solana is also rolling over, making a lower high and coming down for a lower low. Same with Bitcoin. Ethereum hasn't done that yet. Ethereum is still showing a bit of strength here. But if you do look at the rest of the altcoins, even Doge, lower lows and lower highs, short-term structure to the downside, Cardano. AVAX still looking strong here, but I feel like AVAX in the immediate short term should eventually get a structure that resembles one that is losing momentum. So maybe head and shoulders formation or something like that. But at the current moment, AVAX is still propped up very strong, looking pretty good. What else do we have here? TON making a lower high. We have XLM, maybe consolidation for another attempt. Maybe the attempt is the failed breakout. Maybe it's not. Maybe it does retrace. Maybe it does fall. Ultimately, I'm not willing to take risk at the moment because if you look at what XLM has done in the last 7 days, it is up 123%. So at this current moment, I want to ask you, is this time to take risk given the fact that there are individuals that are up significantly on their positions? Most likely those individuals will start to feel fear when Bitcoin falls and if Bitcoin falls further, and they will be taking profits, securing those gains. Okay, guys, so you have to understand The harder the project ran, the harder it will fall, given the fact that there's volume gaps below. Okay, structures are meant to be traded. At the current moment, I don't trust the structure, given that Bitcoin is showing weakness. Okay, so that's that. We see a lot of Polkadot doing a very similar thing. Hang time, maybe a bit of a rollover here, a bit of a dip, lower low, lower high right here, maybe coming down for that lower low. Chainlink is in a very similar spot to Ethereum, so this is something that we got to understand. Looking pretty good for now. Maybe there's divergence on these two tops. Guys, join me live tonight at 8 p.m. EST. We'll talk about setups. It is a great time and place for you guys to request any projects you want me to look at. I will pull up some charts and we'll take a look at setups, because ultimately, don't be deceived. Sometimes we definitely see price action that could get us trapped up. Chainlink looks pretty good at the current moment. Could we go up for another higher high? Possible. However, guys, every time we spike to the upside and we see signs of divergence, we increase the probability of the bulls getting trapped for that short-term retracement. So if Bitcoin takes a dip, I want to ask you this. Again, what is going to happen to the altcoins? What is going to happen to Chainlink? Do you think Chainlink has enough strength on its own to hold up if Bitcoin induces a bit of fear throughout the market? I highly doubt it, guys. I highly doubt it. Now, I'm not saying it's going to crash and burn, but I'm just saying a 20 to 30% correction on Bitcoin, which is absolutely normal and healthy, even in a bull run, we could see a deeper and obviously more violent correction on the altcoins, giving us opportunities to buy. Sui is already in that correction phase. It's already down approximately 4%. It has been in a correction for a bit, and it's likely to get the first bounces after the correction is done, because it's already led the correction. And the most likely scenario is that it will hit its floor price sooner than later. Okay, so we got to keep an eye on Sui. It might be the project that reacts first once the market has reached its bottom. A Near protocol looking good, still grinding to the upside, but you can see that generally speaking, guys, the market is still okay on some of the projects, but a good portion of them are already rolling over, right? Look at CRO, look at HBAR, look at even Matic, double topping, maybe coming down for a rollover. We have a lot of hang time in a lot of this. Look at Caspum, it looks pretty okay down here. At least you're forming a bit of a bottom for a long, but look at FET rolling over. Celestia, guys, the Celestia trade was absolutely epic. If you've been watching me here on the channel, I've been talking about Celestia move for a good while and accumulating with that bottom range. But I have to say this, it's up almost 56%. Okay, and it's been moving to the upside. Take a bit of profit, guys. Take a bit of profit, because Celestia could roll over any moment here and give us an opportunity to buy the dips. Now, I'm not certain of this, but I can say this, trail up a stop loss well into profit just in case. That's the best way to defend your gains, guys. Take 10% off the top and trail up that stop loss so that you can secure some of it. VeChain going sideways. Look at this sideways price action. It is a bull flag or Bart Simpson pattern to the downside. So you get what I mean here. As you can scroll through, you do see a bit of hang time. Could this be the beginning of a bigger correction and ultimately the buy opportunity that we're looking for? All right, guys, let's begin. Let's take a look at some charts. Let's begin by looking at Bitcoin. Obviously, Bitcoin is usually the greatest indicator out there for the market, and so far so good. As you can see, that Bitcoin did take a bit of a dip from, you know, about 99,800 or so all the way down to about 94,800, which means that ultimately we are in a dip. I wouldn't be so keen on buying this dip at the current moment. I want to show a bit of patience here so that I can maximize my buy orders. Let's take a look at this in a bit more detail. What I mean here is ultimately, I don't want to run out of capital. I don't want to be buying every single dip, right? I want to see a very healthy correction that leads me to believe that we reached the bottom. This is not enough for me, guys. You guys know I appreciate double-digit dips. Now, if we start measuring the Bitcoin dip from the top to where we are right now, we start measuring, it does look pretty nice, but it's only a 4-5% correction. That's not enough for me, guys. Now, it could translate to a little bit more, and that would require more fear in the market. You know, there's a very common saying, you know, we take the stairs up and the elevator down. Usually the dips are a lot stronger than the rallies or the moves to the upside. Now, my first target would be at about $86,000. If we can get down to this level, guys, I would like to see how the market reacts. It could be that, you know, we come down, you know, maybe take a, you know, come down real quick. Maybe we come down a little lower. We try to get through the volume gap. Maybe we don't. Whatever the case is, I would like to see a floor price that insinuates that the sell-off is over. Now, I don't think it's going to be a long period of time. I think it's going to come down quicker than expected. Maybe come down, double, and then move to the upside real quick. That's usually an indication of strength and usually resembles a bull run type of correction and buy up, right? So that's something to consider. However, another target that I have here is at about 77, which, you know, there's a CME gap down at those levels. We have a 0.5 Fibonacci retracement. We have the 0.382 that's right about 82,000, which is not bad of a level, but right around here, I feel like we could see the price maybe do one of these, right? And then maybe come down, bouncy, and then bouncy, and then start moving up. Now, of course, this looks like a February thing. I don't think it's going to take that long. I would, you know, obviously I'm exaggerating this just because, you know, drawing this in a tight space is very difficult, but you get what I mean. We could definitely come down for those type of scenarios. I really am looking forward to see how we react and behave here for a quick pop to the upside. Now, that will equate to a bit of a retracement here on Bitcoin. Let's quickly measure what does that equate to. Down here, it looks like a 13% dip. To be honest, it's still not enough for me. It's still not enough. However, if the market shows us support, I'm willing to take some risk there. I'm willing to take a chance for a bounce, for a nice trade to the upside. And in the meantime, we start to look at the daily time frame from a different perspective, because you see the volatility line is almost oversold, which means that we could definitely start falling a little bit more. What I mean here is, if you look at the orange line, this is the volatility line that I use here on this custom indicator. If you want to know more about it, I got links in the description. Ultimately, I do see this coming down a little bit further, which means that the dip could happen. What keeps me most concerned is this right here, which is the momentum. The momentum got overbought already. The expansion, the green expansion in the background is so overbought. We are tapering downwards, guys. You can see that we're kind of rolling over a little bit here. Now, I would like to see eventually some signs of clear divergence, but because we're so frothy up here, I do feel like even if the volatility got overbought again, this would be the time to start expecting to get into shorts again one more time to see if we can time the market and eventually see a rollover, a bigger rollover. Now, a bigger rollover for me would mean that the altcoins will take a bigger hit, and ultimately shorting a couple of altcoins might be in your favor in this case if you're looking for shorts, but it's got to be on the lower time frames, guys. Don't expect these massive corrections on shorts on Bitcoin or in the crypto space at the current moment. The bias is to the upside. Now, a big picture question that I also have is this. Are the corrections on momentum going to be fully oversold? Are we going to get down to oversold conditions like we have done in the past? The difference between the past is that this was a bear market. Now we're in a very clear bull run. And you can see that every time we kind of get to the tops, we correct, we come down, we go up, we go down. These are the ebb and flows of the market, right? We can see that eventually, look at that, oversold, overbought, oversold, overbought. So we kind of like follow this paths and we get these peaks and valleys in between that are tradable on the 4-hour. So this is something that we have to understand too, is that the 4-hour time frame could give us opportunities, but I'm focusing here on this daily time frame. Okay, so right now, hot and heavy, very overheated. Volatility could come down a little bit more in the short term, and then I would like to see how the bulls respond to get into more shorts up here and maybe build a few positions to the downside if that's the case, just to hedge, because ultimately if we get that dip, a bigger dip, again, Bitcoin coming down to about 86 is the opportunity. Again, CME gaps down there and all of that good stuff. Now, the trend oscillator, the expansion is coming down, guys. We're getting an EMA cross here and a green histogram bar. I don't like the way this looks at the current moment. It could be the beginning of a bigger correction. So I'm being very patient here for any positions. I exited all my margin and lever positions. My spot trades are fully intact. I didn't sell anything on spot, and I don't plan on doing that. But ultimately, because I traded and I sold a lot of my leverage positions, I have a fat stack of cash ready to deploy at the current moment. So when it does come down, I'll be ready to deploy, and of course I will be giving you those signals as I deploy and into which projects I do. Join the Discord, guys. A great community there, very supportive. If you're new to crypto, you need those supportive communities, and of course we have the one that will definitely help you. You know, Bitcoin breaking down with this trend is not going to be a good look, to be honest. This is what I'm really watching out for. You know, maybe we could get a bit of a dead cat bounce right here and then slowly start rolling over. We have the bottom of the volume gap where we could get support, and then, you know, how low do we go? We're going to hunt some liquidity here, induce a bit of pain for everybody that got into last minute longs. You know, that's the thing. Last minute longs, if you didn't take profit, you are going to get punished. That's usually how it works, guys, because you didn't take the risk, right? The risk was buying at 16,000. That was the risk. Right now, this is not risk. You're buying into pumps. You're buying it into a level where you run the risk of being exit liquidity. So ultimately, I think the market is going to be hunting for that liquidity in the next little while. And I'm not getting into any fresh longs here on Bitcoin or anything in the market. I have my exposure via spot, and I will be entering a few shorts to hedge against any dips ultimately in the next little while. So Bitcoin not showing us a lot of strength. However, you know, we did get a dip like that before, and we went up for another higher high. Is it possible that we do that again? Of course it is. But really, even if we got to about $105,000, I still would remain very cautious and prepare for a big correction on Bitcoin that equates to about 20 to 30%. Guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join the Discord, guys. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.